Welcome to Bills Nation Daily, your ultimate daily dose of everything Buffalo Bills. Hit that subscribe button and join the most passionate Bills fans as we break down all the latest news, highlights, and game analysis. Go Bills! It's crazy how the NFL landscape keeps shifting, but right now all eyes are on TREVON DIGGS, who is quietly, almost stealthily, transforming into the heartbeat of the Buffalo Bills. There's chatter that his presence on the field has shifted the entire defensive philosophy of the team, making opponents second-guess every single pass they throw. Fans who've followed DIGGS since his college days are nodding knowingly, but the casual observer might be caught off guard. What's fascinating here is not just the interceptions piling up or the game-changing plays he's been racking up week after week, but the aura he brings to the locker room. Insiders are whispering about his leadership, about how even the veterans seem to feed off his energy, and the coaches are adjusting their game plans to maximize his impact. It's almost cinematic. You see a player who once had to fight for recognition now commanding attention every time he steps on the turf. The Bills, long respected for their offensive firepower, are quietly reinventing themselves defensively, and TREVON DIGGS is right at the center of that revolution. Rumors suggest this is just the beginning, that we haven't even scratched the surface of what DIGGS can do. And it's not just about the interceptions or the flashy stats that are turning heads. It's about timing, intelligence, and instincts that seem almost preternatural. DIGGS' ability to read quarterbacks, anticipate routes, and break up plays before they even fully develop has people inside the NFL buzzing. Sources close to the team hint that his film study habits are legendary, that he can spend hours dissecting every snap and then translate that knowledge directly into the field execution. Fans have been noticing his sudden knack for critical plays and high-pressure moments, but insiders say that what we see on Sundays is just the tip of the iceberg. There's also talk about his chemistry with the secondary, about how he's become the anchor that allows other players to thrive. Analysts have speculated for weeks that the Bills' defense could take a leap, but few expected it to revolve so dramatically around a cornerback. TREVON DIGGS, the once underrated talent, now seems to embody the Bills' defensive identity, and whispers in the league suggest that he might not just be a star, but a transformative force. If these murmurs hold any truth, the NFL could be witnessing the early stages of a defensive renaissance led by DIGGS. Off the field, the story gets even juicier. Social media posts, cryptic interviews, and insider leaks have sparked speculation that DIGGS is not only becoming the franchise cornerstone, but also the face of the team in a way few cornerbacks ever have. There's talk of his influence on draft decisions, on mentoring younger players, and even on strategy sessions. Some insiders are hinting that his presence has changed the culture in Buffalo, that his confidence is contagious, and that teammates are rallying behind him in ways that were unseen before. The buzz is palpable, with fans and pundits debating if the Bills are now built around a defensive superstar rather than the traditional offensive hero narrative. And while some may scoff at the idea of a cornerback being the central figure of a team, the current evidence suggests that DIGGS is redefining expectations. Those close to the Bills' operations hint that his training regimen, film analysis, and preparation routines are unmatched, that he's carving a path toward greatness that could leave a mark on the franchise for decades. In short, the chatter is that TREVON DIGGS isn't just playing football. He's orchestrating it, and the league is sitting up to take notice. The whispers aren't limited to just insiders. Opposing teams are reportedly recalibrating their offensive schemes entirely because of DIGGS. There's an underground narrative forming that quarterbacks are now hesitant, that the presence of DIGGS in the secondary forces game-changing adjustments, and that this ripple effect might be the Bills' hidden edge in playoff scenarios. Analysts who normally stay impartial are starting to speculate publicly. Could this be the season that a defensive player becomes the headline of Buffalo's success story? Rumors suggest that every interception DIGGS makes send shockwaves beyond the stadium, influencing fantasy leagues, betting markets, and even coaching strategies across the NFL. Fans in Buffalo, meanwhile, are embracing the idea, showing up to games with signs and chants that highlight his rising prominence. The storyline unfolding is almost unprecedented. A player who combines skill, intelligence, and charisma in a way that shifts narratives about what a cornerback can achieve. If the rumors hold, TREVON DIGGS isn't just making plays. He's reshaping expectations, forcing the NFL to reconsider how stars are defined, and quietly taking Buffalo's defense to a level that could rival any dynasty in the league's modern era. Adding fuel to the fire, there's chatter about DIGGS' potential contract extensions and endorsements, suggesting that the front office sees him as a generational talent. Rumors circulating in the NFL corridors hint that executives from multiple teams are keeping tabs on Buffalo, trying to decode how DIGGS is producing such consistent, elite performances. Fans are speculating wildly, some claiming this is the start of a trend where defensive stars finally claim the limelight usually reserved for quarterbacks. Even analysts who normally critique defensive play are caught in a whirlwind of praise, pointing out how rare it is to see someone who blends technique, instinct, and personality in such a complete package. Behind the scenes, whispers suggest that DIGGS' impact goes beyond stats. He's shaping playbooks, influencing in-game adjustments, and becoming a strategic cornerstone. For Buffalo, this is more than just having a star. It's the emergence of a player who can dictate the tempo, inspire teammates, and perhaps carry the franchise through seasons of uncertainty. If these rumors are to be believed, TREVON DIGGS isn't just part of the Bills' narrative. He is the narrative quietly asserting himself as one of the NFL's most compelling forces. And perhaps the most tantalizing whispers revolve around the playoffs. Sources close to the Bills hint that coaches are increasingly leaning on DIGGS in critical moments, trusting him to make pivotal decisions that could swing outcomes. Speculation in sports circles suggests that opposing quarterbacks are strategizing specifically around him, attempting to avoid his coverage while simultaneously being wary of potential traps. Social media has exploded with highlight reels, memes, and heated debates about his influence, amplifying the rumor that DIGGS' rise is not just performance-based, but a cultural phenomenon within the league. If the whispers hold, we might be witnessing the early stages of a player-led revolution in Buffalo, where defensive prowess commands as much attention as offensive fireworks. Fans, insiders, and analysts are all pointing to one conclusion. TREVON DIGGS is not just a star. He's an influencer, a leader, and potentially a transformational figure whose presence might redefine what it means to dominate a game. The NFL might be on the cusp of a shift where defensive brilliance becomes headline news, and DIGGS is the face of that change, quietly turning Buffalo into the most intriguing story of the season. The latest whispers out of Buffalo suggest that TREVON DIGGS' influence stretches far beyond the gridiron, seeping into every corner of the organization. Sources hint that he's become a trusted advisor to the coaching staff, offering insights that are reshaping defensive schemes and even influencing offensive game plans. Rumors suggest that the locker room vibe has changed dramatically since his emergence as a central figure, with veterans and rookies alike looking to him as a blueprint for success. Social media chatter is exploding, with fans dissecting every move, every interception, and every sideline celebration, speculating that DIGGS' leadership is the missing ingredient the Bills have been chasing for years. Analysts are pointing out that his instinctive reads, combined with his film study habits, are turning him into an almost unguardable force, a player who not only reacts but anticipates, forcing quarterbacks into mistakes they wouldn't normally make. There's talk that his preparation is so meticulous that it borders on obsessive, and insiders whisper that this dedication is contagious, raising the performance ceiling for everyone around him. The underlying rumor gaining traction is that DIGGS is positioning himself not just as a star cornerback, but as a franchise-defining player whose shadow looms over every opponent. Even more tantalizing are the murmurs that DIGGS' impact might extend into potential postseason glory. Sources claim that his ability to read the field and adjust in real time has been a game-changer during high-pressure moments, giving Buffalo an edge in situations where seconds and inches matter most. Whispers suggest that quarterbacks across the league are now preparing with a new layer of caution, double-checking reads, and avoiding his side of the field whenever possible. Fans are buzzing with speculation, creating a digital storm of memes, video breakdowns, and what if debates that elevate Diggs' status beyond just statistics. Some insiders are hinting that the Bills' coaching staff has begun structuring defensive strategies around his strengths, essentially turning him into a centerpiece who dictates matchups and coverage schemes. The narrative emerging from these rumors is almost mythical, a player who is simultaneously feared, revered, and studied by every opponent. The excitement surrounding Diggs is more than hype. It's a collective acknowledgement from insiders, analysts, and fans that the NFL might be witnessing a rare phenomenon. A cornerback who has transcended his position and is quietly reshaping the identity of an entire franchise. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. Rumors are also swirling about the ripple effect Diggs is having on team dynamics. Sources suggest that younger players are modeling themselves after him, emulating his preparation routines, film study, and on-field communication. The locker room, once dominated by established stars, is now buzzing with a renewed energy fueled by his presence. Analysts are speculating that this cultural shift could have long-term consequences, transforming Buffalo into a destination where defensive talent flourishes under his guidance. Social media amplifies the buzz, with fans dissecting every nuance, from sideline gestures to pre-game rituals, trying to decode the secret behind his meteoric rise. Some whispers hint that even the front office is taking cues from Diggs, adjusting recruitment strategies and defensive priorities to align with his strengths. The narrative is building that this isn't just a breakout season. It's the beginning of a new era for the Bills, one defined by leadership, intelligence, and a cornerback whose influence permeates every level of the organization. The undercurrent of speculation suggests that TREVON Diggs' name will be synonymous with Buffalo's identity for years to come, elevating him from star to legend in the eyes of fans and insiders alike. Adding another layer to the speculation, there are whispers that rival teams are quietly studying Diggs' game tape obsessively, trying to find weaknesses where none seem to exist. Analysts point out that his ability to anticipate routes and read quarterbacks' intentions makes him nearly unmatchable in one-on-one situations, forcing coaches to rethink entire offensive strategies. Fans are abuzz with the idea that Diggs might be the hidden ace in the Bills' hand, a player whose presence alone changes the way games are approached from week one to the playoffs. Rumors circulating among insiders hint at contract negotiations and endorsement opportunities that could solidify his status as a franchise icon, suggesting that Buffalo recognizes the rare combination of talent, leadership, and charisma he brings. The story being whispered in the hallways of the NFL is almost cinematic. A cornerback who not only dominates on the field, but also shapes the perception, preparation, and psyche of his entire team. Speculation is reaching fever pitch, and every interception, every sideline adjustment, every pre-snap read is being analyzed for signs that Diggs is not merely a player, but the architect of Buffalo's evolving identity. The narrative feels unstoppable, as if the league itself is bending to acknowledge his presence. Behind the scenes, insiders hint at a deeper, almost strategic orchestration of the team around Diggs' skill set. Sources suggest that defensive formations, player rotations, and even training regimens are increasingly tailored to leverage his unique strengths. The buzz is that this level of customization is rare in the NFL, typically reserved for generational talents, reinforcing the rumor that Diggs has crossed into elite territory. Fans are speculating on forums, social media, and fan clubs, debating the implications of a player who influences tactics at such a granular level. Analysts are chiming in, noting how unusual it is for a cornerback to carry such weight in game planning. And the speculation is that opposing teams are rethinking their entire approach to matchups. Rumors suggest that his influence extends beyond Sunday games, affecting practice intensity, team morale, and even recruitment priorities. The story emerging is more than just a breakout season. It's the narrative of a player transforming the blueprint of an entire franchise. TREVON Diggs is being whispered about not just as a talent, but as a cornerstone an influencer, and a figure whose impact could resonate far beyond any single play or highlight reel. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.